The Board of Directors and Superintendent of Schools adopted 4 overarching goals for the 2015-2016 school year. This PowerPoint presents a mid-year review of progress toward accomplishment of these annual goals and was presented during the Board's February 8th legislative meeting. Our vision, all Upper Dublin students can and will learn with equitable opportunities, is closely aligned to the district mission statement to provide a safe environment in which all students are respected, educated, encouraged, and challenged to become lifelong learners within a global society. Together, these statements provide the conceptual framework that guides our work. Our first goal addresses excellence and equity for all. We continue to use student achievement data to leverage our decisions around curriculum, instruction, assessment, and professional development. Assessment instruments used at the K-5 level include, but are not limited to, the PSSA, DIBELS, which is an acronym for the Dynamic Inventory of Basic Early Literacy Skills. The keywords here are early literacy skills, as this is the instrument used by our teachers at the primary level to screen and evaluate progress in the development of early reading and writing skills. The CDT, or Classroom Diagnostic Tool, is an assessment instrument from the Pennsylvania Department of Education that is aligned with the concepts and skills assessed through the PSSA, although it is not a predictor of future achievement on the PSSA. We are currently evaluating our use of the CDT, and a decision about continued use will follow that review. Curriculum-embedded assessments are used frequently as formative assessment to inform our instruction on a daily basis. An example of this at the elementary level is our use of brief formative assessments in the middle of Eureka math lessons and subsequent assignment of Zern activities for remediation or enhancement. Assessment instruments used in grades 6 through 12 include, but are not limited to, the Keystones, CDTs, quarterly common assessments, which are being included in our new curricula, formative assessments, and benchmark common assessments in grade 9. These assessments will be administered to our current 9th graders this spring as a baseline measurement. Next spring, we will re-administer the assessment to the 9th graders and analyze those data to ensure the rigor of our Level 2 and honors course levels. We are preparing for implementing restructuring of our 9th grade in the fall. Specifically, we will offer 2 levels in 9th grade English Language Arts, Science, and Social Studies classes. Our plan moving forward is to restructure classes in the same format for 10th grade in the 2017-18 school year. Our budget development for next year and our ongoing professional development for teachers and support staff includes additional faculty to expand our co-teaching practice, along with specific training in co-teaching and instructional and behavior management practices. We have implemented improvements in our systems for student placement decisions, focusing first on placements for students moving from 5th to 6th grade, and now on placement for students moving from 8th to 9th grade. In response to concerns expressed by parents and students, we have revised our form used to request placement against educational advice, and that form is now available to families through a hyperlink embedded in our online Program of Studies document. The district has entered into a review of our gifted education program, and currently a needs assessment is underway. Although we anticipate recommendations from the committee in the fall, our priority is on developing an effective program rather than meeting a set timetable. The district has also entered into review of our hiring practices. We are currently analyzing our current practices and policies. We are working toward aligning the protocols that are used in our buildings and our departments for making hiring decisions. We anticipate improvements to our practice in this area will take effect in the spring of 2016. Our curriculum upgrades aligned to standards are continuing. Our educator evaluation system is now fully implemented. Our educator student learning objectives, or SLOs, are explicitly aligned with school and department goals. These constitute 50% of a teacher or principal evaluation result. Additionally, this year our principals and directors are piloting SLOs aligned directly with school and department goals. Our professional learning is now job embedded and aligned specifically to student learning objectives. A good example of the job embedded learning is our work on Google applications for education. As teachers are involved in professional development in the areas of differentiating instruction, developing formative assessment, working with flexible groups, they are doing this work through Google Apps, which is helping them to expand their capacity both in use of that platform and in their instructional practice. Chromebooks, our rollout has been very successful. We have also now administered the Bright Bites survey to our students and faculty. Results of that survey are being analyzed. We are looking specifically for documentation of the integration of the 4 C's throughout our curricula: critical thinking, collaboration, communication, and creativity. Those soft skills that are so important for our students in this 21st century world. We are using the SAMR model, which is a type of taxonomy similar to a Bloom's taxonomy designed specifically for technology integration, as we measure the success of using our devices as instructional tools, working through the process of substitution or simply using a Chromebook in place of a pencil and paper, through augmentation of the curriculum and instructional practice, to modification, and finally redefinition. How are we now using the devices as a very, very vibrant and fluent tool to empower our teachers and our students? Our Excellence and Equity Steering Committee continues to work. We have broken out into several very successful subcommittees. We now have an African American Students and Family Committee, an Asian American Students and Families Committee, a Hispanic Student and Family Committee, and a faith-based Student and Family Committee. The district has or will offer several opportunities for school and community collaboration. Specifically, on January 18th, we were proud to participate in Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service activities. On January 28th, our second annual Connections Family Dinner featured Judge Stephen Tolliver of the 38th Judicial District. At the high school in April and at the middle school in May, we will engage in Holocaust remembrance activities. On April 5th, we will have our second annual Asian Parents Night. The next slide addresses our goal for finances. Our budgeting process is becoming increasingly proactive and transparent. We have engaged in a series of development meetings with all of our coordinators, our principals, our department heads, to ensure that everyone is deeply enmeshed in budgeting going forward, understanding where the dollars are coming from, and making decisions about how we will allocate those dollars moving forward. We had a very successful curriculum summit in October, which allowed each of the content coordinators throughout the district to present information on what their department is working on, what they anticipate coming up in the future, and on what their specific budgeting needs might be. We are placing an emphasis on identifying efficiencies throughout the system, and we can point to 2 particular efficiencies. One is our new website development and maintenance. We had been paying $18,000 per year for that. Moving forward, we anticipate a fee of between $300 and $500 for annual maintenance. Additionally, we are working to reorganize our technology department as we are moving away from the longstanding contract with Aramark. Our cabinet members are reviewing recommendations of the 2011 Financial Task Force to find continued applicability of the recommendations of that task force. We are working to improve our bond ratings and our capital reserves to position the district for future facilities work and other contingencies that we know of and that may arise. Our bond refunding, which recently took place in 2 phases in December and in January, realized a total savings of $1.7 million over the next 11 years. Our Finance Committee continues to focus on long-term planning. Part of this is quarterly meetings with the UDEA, our teachers bargaining unit, to communicate the fiscal position of the district to ensure that everyone is up to speed on exactly where we are and why we are making the decisions that we are making. The next slide addresses our goal for facilities. We are actively developing priorities and timelines through short-term and long-range planning. We are reviewing the relatively recent engineering report for recommended priorities and taking a look at what we have already accomplished and how we might address those issues that were raised. We are aligning the work of the facilities and the finance committees to establish those action steps and timelines for funding our building improvement projects. We now have a renewed emphasis on preventative maintenance. We are investigating cooling availability at our elementary and middle schools, and we are addressing several projects that have been lingering for some time. 2 of the larger projects are the electrical system at Thomas Fitzwater and the boilers at Fort Washington, which have long needed to be replaced. We have revitalized the grade alignment task force to inform planning for future improvement at Sandy Run Middle School. I would like to emphasize that the charge to this task force is to pick up where the previous task force left off, to renew updated enrollment and engineering reports. Our goal is to complete development of a recommendation to the board about grade realignment and location of the 6th grade moving forward. I would like to emphasize that there is currently no timeline for beginning any project at Sandy Run. This task force will not be recommending specifications for a future school, but rather completing the work and determining what our grade alignments will be moving forward. Our future meetings will include a review of potential residential development in the township, a review of the engineering report, a review of our current position in light of possible building projects, and that will take a look at financing. Members of the community are welcome to join us at any of those meetings, and information is posted on the website. Our final goal addresses communication. We have restructured our board committee meeting format to improve visibility and transparency. We have now launched a new district website. We have now held 2 district combined leadership meetings. These are meetings between the administration of the district and the leadership of our parent organizations, PTO, PTA, and SPEAK. This has offered a forum in which to share information to and from the parent organizations and to allow them to have an opportunity to share information among themselves. We have increased our focus use of social media. We're using Twitter and Facebook in addition to our listservs, emails, robocalls, etc. We have developed and are implementing district communications plan, which includes an annual report that has already been mailed to the community. We have produced the first of 2 annual newsletters. The first will be mailed soon, and we have produced a realtor's brochure. If anyone is interested in a copy of that, it can be picked up either at the administrative offices or at the township building. Projecting forward, it is the intent of the superintendent and the board to initiate a formal 5-year planning process in the fall of 2016. We will be implementing a new English language arts program, K-12, again in the fall of 2016. We will be continuing to monitor the ninth grade restructuring initiative. As mentioned earlier, we will be administering our benchmark common assessments this spring with a follow-up next spring. We will be continuing to monitor the results of our Keystone examinations, which will allow us to drill down to the school and student level. We are exploring a potential pilot of the measurement of academic progress benchmark assessment system. This is an online assessment system that can be personalized by adapting to each student's learning level. It would be administered to students in grades 2 through 12 and potentially will replace our use of the CDTs. We are continuing refinement of our unit plans and our formative and summative assessments. In sum, we are making a great deal of progress toward achievement of each of the goals that was developed last summer by the superintendent and the board, and we will provide a full final summary at the end of this school year.